What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. I'm giving a shout out to Michael Benson, UK boxing columnist. He is reporting this on his Twitter page that Savannah Marshall, who was involved in a historic all-female pay-per-view card in the UK, has exercised her rematch clause to take on Claressa T-Rex Shields, and in my opinion, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in women's boxing. Now, I might get a little pushback for these UK fans that say, no, JB Sports, Katie Taylor is the #1 pound-for-pound female boxer. I just ask you guys just one question before I tell you what this video is about. I ask you guys one question. Weight being equal, as far as both female fighters fighting at the same weight, because you got Katie Taylor fighting at lightweight and you got Claressa Shields fighting at super middleweight. Now she's going down to junior middleweight, but the lowest she has fought is 154 pounds, and Katie Taylor campaigns in the lightweight division, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 135 pounds in female boxing. So that's what pound for pound is about. Just say both females are fighting at the same weight and they're at their peak and fighting at their maximum ability. Who would you favor in that fight? I favor Claressa Shields all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. With all that being said, Savannah Marshall has exercised her rematch clause to take on Claressa Shields in a rematch. She says that boxer is keen on staging that fight at St. James Park in London. That Sky and Boxer are keen on staging that fight at St. James Park in the UK. Now, Savannah. Now. Now, if that fight takes place in St. James Park, I have no problem with that if it's in the rematch clause. If the rematch clause states that the rematch must take place in the UK, okay, cool. But if the rematch clause does not state that, you need to take your behind to Flint, Michigan and fight Claressa Shields in her hometown, just like she came to your hometown, to your neck of the woods, to your backyard and fought you the first fight. Either fight her in Flint, Michigan, where she's already done an all-female pay-per-view card last year, or take it to the Mecca of boxing, well, it used to be the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, and that fight goes down in New York. One of those two locations will be my preference for the rematch, if the rematch clause does not state that Claressa Shields must run it back in the UK. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, the first fight was an epic matchup. Very exciting fight. Those two women laid it all on the line. Went toe-to-toe. Claressa Shields could easily fall off the back foot, moved around, used her athletic advantage, and boxed Savannah Marshall's ears off. But she chose to step to her and fight her type of fight, go toe-to-toe with her, and she basically beat Savannah Marshall at her own game. She basically took Savannah Marshall's strength and beat her in that type of fight. Turned her strength into a disadvantage because she came out on the short end of the stick in the first fight, fighting her type of fight. Now Savannah Marshall is a good fighter. I have a top 5 on my pound-for-pound list in female boxing. She has great upper body movement. She's out of that Tyson Fury school of boxing. But a lot of times she was doing a little bit too much upper body movement. I thought she did a little bit too much, and he kind of ran into some shots from Claressa. She was so, you can see he had been really stressed in her training camp, that upper body movement. You got to use upper body movement to offset her speed advantage. And a lot of times she was running into a lot of those shots. She was moving, doing all that upper body movement, and she was running into a lot of Claressa Shields shots. So they're going to have to tighten that up. And another thing she's going to have to do is she's going to have to use the advantage that she has being the bigger woman. She's going to have to bow guard Claressa Shields. She's going to have to get her against the ropes and she's gonna have to try to roughhouse her like Tyson Fury does a lot of his opponents. Use your weight advantage in the situation. We already know that y'all fighting at 168, but on fight night, she looked like the much bigger fighter in the ring compared to Claressa Shields. She must use that advantage. You know, the heavyweight, you ain't got to worry about that. You know, you just come in at your weight. Tyson Fury come in at 275, 280. And Deontay Wilder coming into the fight 229, somewhere around there. And Tyson Fury has the weight advantage. He uses his advantages, not only over Deontay Wilder, but he uses his advantage over Otto Wallin. He uses his advantage over his last opponent, Derek Chisora. So that's the key, man. You got to use what you have, the advantage over your opponent, because you don't have the speed advantage. You don't have the athleticism advantage. You don't have the high boxing IQ that Claressa Shields. So you must use what you do have over her, and that's size, and that's weight. And that's what she did not do enough of in the first fight. That's why she came up shorter than the midget on his knees in the first fight. She also must discover a jab. You know, jab to the body, and try to back up Claressa Shields through the jab. Jab to the body, double up on the jab to the head, but jab to the body, cut the ring off, and then you try to mug on the ropes and try to make it a very grimy, a very gritty, a very in the mud type of fight. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Not to say that Claressa Shields can't fight that type of fight. Claressa Shields did a good job in that first fight of fighting off the ropes. She was able to counter Savannah Marshall well off the ropes. So the thing about it was, I just thought Savannah Marshall at times was able to do some good things while she had Claressa on the ropes, but she did not get her on the ropes enough in that fight to get the decision win. She came up short, lost a unanimous decision to Claressa Shields. It was nothing controversial about that. I thought, along with a whole lot of other people thought here in the U.S., that if the fight went to the judge, that she could get screwed. But the judges showed integrity, and the rightful winner was awarded the victory. And hopefully that'll be the case if they do have to run it back in the UK. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, Savannah Marshall says that she wants this fight to take place in the summer of 2023. So it remains to be seen, will it happen in the UK or will it happen here in the US? If it happens in the UK, that means that it was in the rematch clause. If not, then they're gonna have to show Claressa Shields the money. Show me the money! Show me the money if you want me to come back to the UK. Because I already been there, done that. I already defeated you in your backyard. You need to come see me in my neck of the woods, Savannah. That's what I'll be telling her. So if the money being equal, we got to run it back here in the US. If not, you got to show me the money. You got to overpay for my service if you want me to come back to the UK. A lot of people comparing this situation to the Devin Haney situation when he signed that deal with Top Rank Boxing and Lou DiBella Promotions, where the first fight was in Australia versus George Kambosos, the then undisputed lightweight champion. He defeated George Kambosos to become undisputed, and in the rematch, he had to go back to the UK. Different venue, but same country. He had to go back to the UK and run it back with George Kambosos, and he was able to defeat him, in my opinion, in a more decisive fashion, even in the first fight. But the bottom line is he had to run it back twice in Australia with George Kambosos. Did Claressa Shields sign a similar contract? That remains to be seen. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.